I am here with Samuel Horton. Can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
How you doing? I'm previous defensive end for Gadsden City and future defensive lineman for Ossipee State.
That's awesome, man. We see you're very talented. Your stats, how many sacks did you have this season?
This season I wouldn't be able to tell you because I did not look at the stats for this season. The stats.
Well, folks, it was a lot. Let me just tell you that. So you're an Austin P commit. Can you tell me how this recruiting happened and how you kind of ended up going the Austin P way?
So when my recruiting started, my first offer was from Georgia State, which is an FBS school. And then it skyrocketed from there. Austin P was my second offer, and I've been talking to them ever since. They're a real energetic coaching staff. We have one of the youngest head coaches in college football, not one of the youngest head coaches in college football. So just the energy that they bring to everything they do is what really brought me to this conclusion.
During recruiting, I know there's camping and you had to send out a lot of film. Just for some young guys watching that want to get into collegiate athletics, can you give some tips on how to recruit yourself, sell yourself?
First things first, be the Twitter, right? Because if you do not recruit yourself, they're not gonna know who you're talking, who you are.
Right.
You have to hit coaches up, send hundreds, maybe thousands of messages to each coach to recruit yourself and put yourself out there on the map. Because if you're not doing that, they just not gonna say, "Oh, which one? Let's look at him," because they're not even gonna know that you're right there. Because there's thousands, and not maybe hundreds of thousands of other athletes that are looking for the same opportunity that you're looking for.
Yeah, because that's what I tell my guys. They ask, "Was like, how do you recruit yourself, Aaron?" I'm like, well, the hard part is getting your film or your abilities in front of a coach. So I know you went to a couple camps. How many camps did you go to? Were those effective?
Well, the first two camps where I went to were really big SEC camps, Alabama camp and Mississippi State camp.
Right.
One thing I had to tell you is when you go to a camp, make sure you contact that position coach that you're gonna be working with. Right. He might not even look at your message, but it still helps a lot. Because I know when I went to Mississippi State's camp, I was talking to their coach and everything like that, and that helped me a lot. I got pulled aside from everybody, where a select couple of players to just get my abilities looked at even further. And like when I went to Chattanooga camp, I got offered from that camp, and just being you and playing at the best of your ability would help you a whole lot to get noticed.
Yeah, because I remember I went to the Vanderbilt camp, and there was a lot of guys there, but a lot of them were like, I was like, "Do you have a coach you're here specifically for? Did you tell coach?" And they're like, "No, I'm just here." And they're kind of upset because they didn't get noticed. But a lot of times, these coaches that do come to these camps have an eye on these athletes they want to see. Because that's where I picked up my Princeton offer. But I did tell Yale, Cornell, and some of the other coaches I was going, and they all approached me, and that's a big part of recruiting. So, communicating with your recruiting, the coaches recruiting you, and also just being informed going to camps, because there's a lot of camps that are like not worth your time. Definitely, I would say definitely invest in like the mega camps with a lot of colleges. Or what do you say about those? I'm not sure. Some people say they're good or bad, or it just begins.
I don't really like mega camps because when you go to mega camps, there's so many people there that you do not get nearly the amount of reps that you would need. If you're going to a smaller camp, then you can get more than like about 5 6 reps, if not more, and you can keep on showing your ability back to back, and that way a coach can look at you, process you, and see what you need to work on, and give you feedback. If not, we'll try to do even better. So I'll say the smaller camps are a little bit better than the mega camps. But if you're a certain school at that mega camp that you're looking at, then that one rep you get, you gotta make it your best.
Okay, that's some really good advice, Sam. And I know you're a multi-sport athlete. I think that helps recruiting too, because coaches love athletes that play multiple sports. Can you go into detail about the sport you play? Because I know you.
So I throw in track and I also wrestle. I started wrestling in 9th grade mainly because I wanted to help with my leverage as being a defensive lineman, because leverage is the first thing about being a D lineman. The lowest man wins, which is if you're a D lineman, your coach is going to preach to you every single day: hands and staying low. And so that's why I started doing wrestling and with track, just throwing and everything. Shot put helps in your explosiveness and everything, so your get off and all that. So coaches really do like multi-sport athletes. If you're a basketball player, they love that because of how explosive that you can be.
Right. So, yeah, guys listening, being a multi-sport athlete is definitely a plus. And just being informed about these things, I think, can make a difference if you're trying to go to collegiate athletics. So you started at Gaston City for 2 years, a senior and a junior. Can you go into details about that process and how it was, everybody has jitterbugs their first time starting. So just go about your first experience as a junior starting your first game against Etowah. What was going through your mind?
So as a junior starting my first game at versus Etowah, I don't really say I didn't feel any different from when I played in certain other games, because I feel like when I first started coming from Georgia and coming to Alabama athletics, it was a huge jump. I mean, everybody would say Georgia's more competitive than Alabama when it comes to athletics, but in my opinion, the athletes that you play, especially in 7A region, like in the 7A regions of Alabama, it's
Right.
completely different than you do in Georgia, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah, we were full-time 7A athletes. A lot of people can't say that because you're like, some people think their coaches are exaggerating when they say that. No, you're legit playing against Division I talent every week. Like I've played against Bama commits, Auburn commits, Ole Miss commits, LSU commits. I played against some of the best talent in 6A, 7A football in Alabama. You're playing good guys every week. You're never playing, mediocrity. You're never
And
playing.
it's not just future collegiate players, it's future NFL players that you're going against.
Right. So yeah. Before I get deep into high school, I forgot a question. So you are committed to Austin P. What is your academic interest? Is there like a major you're interested in studying?
So I have two different majors that I'm looking more into, which my main one is marine biology, which is what I've been wanting to study for a very long time now. Another one is computer sciences, so it's IT and different subjects of that matter.
Okay. Can you talk to the guys listening to this, guys and girls listening to this, and how important the academic side is?
It's extremely important because every school might not specialize in a certain major that you're going for. Some schools might specialize in um, maybe like justice, sciences, business.
Yeah.
Different schools have different specializations. And when you're looking into a school, look for what you might be looking for. Also, but with that being said, you don't have to declare your major right away as soon as you go in. So you
Right.
have time to see what's going to be best for you and what's be best for your future.
Yeah, because at most schools, at the end of your sophomore year is when you declare your major. And I saw a thing on Twitter too. I feel like when you're getting recruited, there's a lot of coaches that throw stuff at you, kind of throw candy to get you to come to that school. As good as it is to have the coaches fall in love with the coaches, also fall in love with the school, because a lot of the time coaches move. Like a coach that was at LSU may not be the same coach that's going to be there in 5 to 6 years. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you're really in love with the school and the curriculum and all that aspects, and just other things also, like gaining up on academic scholarships if you have good grades, because scholarships can be taken away. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was some good information for these guys trying to get recruited and making a decision. So back to your high school career. I know you're a dog on the field, just doing reps against you in Indy about kill me every time. But I still put that work on you. But we're gonna show the guys your highlights. Can you see it, Sam?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right, let's watch some of your highlights. Look at that. What was your mindset going into this? When you're down there on the edge and you're like, man, I need to get set. What's your mindset?
My mindset is get off, watch the ball, get off, because if you faster than the man that is guarding you, then there's no way they're going to be able to guard you, especially if they're offensive linemen. They're not going to want to cover ground. And that's something you learn the more you play. And if you're speed kills a lot of times, and throughout the game, you can get a read on certain people and how they like to block, and then they'll try to read you, and you can switch it up because the more you have in your arsenal, the more versatile you are, the more likely the chance that you're going to be able to get past the dude that's in front of you to be able to make that play, get a sack, or even just change the trajectory of the ball. Because
Right.
your main goal as a defensive lineman is to get pressure.
Can you go a little bit about hands and how important that is as a defensive lineman?
Extremely. So when you get off, like your coaches, they would preach hands all the time because you can't pass rush every single down. The game isn't like that. You're gonna get ran on a lot, and so you have to initiate contact with your man first before you can do anything. And if you shoot your hands, it makes everything so much easier because they're not gonna want you to hit them in their chest every single play. They're gonna start getting more docile because they're gonna start with y'all like knowing, okay, this dude he aggressive with it. I mean, they're gonna get more docile and they're not gonna try to fire off at you as much as throughout the game. The more you put your hands on them.
Right. But yeah, if you guys cannot see, it's pretty obvious. This man's a dog, making plays left and right. What was your favorite highlight or moment, playing high school athletics here at Gaston City?
I think you already know this one, but I had to say my junior year was Hoover, of course, when I ended up throwing an offensive lineman into the quarterback, and I think that's the film I got recruited off of as well.
Yeah, that was a very, very, very fun clip. I have a question. You know what the question is?
I believe so.
All right. So since Iron Sharpens Iron is kind of based off of advocating for mental health, can you talk about your mental health? What's your mental health currently? 1 out of 10.
Currently, at 1 out of 10. Currently, I had to say that my mental health is around. I said 9 with signing day being over now, and just which are going to the next signing day, and I know where I'm going and my position secure. I had to say my mental health was around a 9.
Okay. Now during the season, I know things can get rough, definitely during fall camp. I would say, can you go about that? How did you rise above the adversity during mental health, not mental health, but fall camp?
So I had to say during fall camp, that's most likely going to be one of the toughest times during your football career each year, because not only dealing with like fighting against the heat, depending on where you are, it's just fighting against your will to quit. Because no matter who you are, everybody's gonna have that voice inside your head going, "Hey, quit! You can't do this." But you gotta be able to fight through it and say, "I can do this," and you gotta be able to listen to your coaches, and be able to be coachable, which is
Right.
the main part about anything. Just be coachable and listen and follow instructions, because whatever you do on the field, you have to be coachable in order to follow instructions and do everything that you're told to do.
Right.
And within fall camp, you got so much that's coming at you where you had to learn different plays, and you don't have. But the only thing I have to say, the good thing about fall camp, you don't have to worry about analyzing another team until like the last week of fall camp. You have to worry about watching film until last week of fall camp. But the earlier you do get into watching film, analyzing, studying, the easier it'll be for you, especially on the field, because things will come to you a whole lot faster.
Right. And I would say another cool thing about fall camp, it is hard, it is rigorous. I think that's what makes the best players. Rising above adversity is also a great skill, and just you being able to do that, and any other athlete is able to handle fall camp, because football's not for everybody, and situations like these aren't for everybody. A really great thing that I think comes out of being a football player, especially during hard workouts and winter workouts, fall camp, is a brotherhood. Can you touch on that and how that's influenced you and helped you?
So I had to say that over the years, fall camp, not just only fall camp, the summer workouts, everything,
Right.
you build your relationship with your teammates. Y'all don't just become teammates anymore. Y'all brothers because y'all pushing each other through hard times. You spend most of your time at the field house with your teammates at that school than you do at home. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it becomes a family, and that this like boosts even more that you want to fight for your brothers on the field and do it to your best of your ability.
Okay. I respect that, Sam. And going on to that, I know you're a leader on the football team. You know, because people that don't know football, our season doesn't start in August. It starts in December when football season is over again. It's starting over. So really, can you go in deep about winter workouts and the process of how you prepare for a season and how long it takes to prepare for a season and how all those little elements in winter workouts, summer workouts have a direct parallel to the results of the season? Can you go into deep about that?
So I would say winter workouts is where it starts. And I would say is one of the most important parts of the season because with the seniors leaving and all and everything, there's a lack of leadership, which is where your leaders are born. And that's where you learn how to become a leader within that winter workouts because you learn how to control the weight room. You learn how to do what you're told to do. And it just leads on and on to from winter to spring football, summer workouts to fall camp. And you're growing and not just as an athlete, not just as a person, but you're growing physically and mentally
Right.
because your body's getting because I would have to say my ninth grade year, I was 195. My sophomore year, I was about 200, but that jump from my sophomore year to my junior year I was 230 my junior year. And just the amount of growth that you have between is just like impeccable of
Right.
how because of how like much that you grow. And I had to say that winter is where it starts because you can't start nothing if you don't have any leadership.
Right. And were you more of a verbal leader or you know, leader by example?
I was definitely a leader by example. I'm more of a quiet person. I'm not really too much of a yeller, as you can say. That was more of you. But I was more of a leader by example, try to do everything I was told, do everything I was told to do as much as I can do it. Because if you're falling behind somebody and they're not doing what they're telling you to do, you're not gonna want to do it. I
Right.
mean, because that person is basically just telling you to do something, but they're not doing it themselves. So you have to be a leader by example in order to which I'll be a leader verbally. So
And I would say, just for the people listening, you can be a leader in every aspect of your life. You don't have to have any, nobody has to tell you to lead. It's a choice in you to lead. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be yelling, screaming, hollering. You can just, do the right thing, have morals, have consistency and greatness. I feel like that's a great aspect, to be a leader. Because at the end of the day, what me and Sam realized at going on, being high school athletes or just athletes in general, if you do what you're supposed to and it's effective, you keep doing it, other people are going to follow. And it creates a culture,
consistency.
and creates a culture that's like going to be implanted just by, us getting there early on time, getting dressed, paying attention to meetings. We started a thing with our position groups that, at the high school, we didn't do that before. We bring notepads and pens to film meeting. You take notes and film, you know, ask questions, the worst thing someone can ever tell you is no, right? So, take chances, ask questions, and get better. Because great man told me, one of our coaches said, you're either getting better or worse, so try to get better every day. Yeah. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing, learning in high school, get to play with Sam, growing our leadership skills. So Samuel Horton, I think we touched on it earlier, but I want to go even more deep into it. You had the honor to play in the North-South Alabama All-Star game. Can you go into that experience and, having an opportunity to play in such a prestigious game in Alabama? Can you go on about that?
I had to say it was extremely big honor because only 35 people in the state of Alabama from the north side of Alabama gets chosen to play in that game.
Right.
And it was extremely big honor to be just chosen, just talked about to be in that game. And playing with people that had the same mindset, the same work ethic, and same just drive that you do, it makes things a whole lot easier because it comes together so profoundly. And like I had to say, the D line that I was with, we became really close within like those 4 days that we was working because of how much our views in line with each other and everything.
And yeah, I thought that was awesome. Because you didn't play too bad. You had a pretty good game, and also, if the audience didn't know, let me find this photo. Sam was the player of the week after that game. The Alabama High School Radio Network Athlete of the Week, and I thought that was awesome. He had 6 tackles, a sack, a tackle for loss, and a forced fumble. And they defeated the South 14-10. How did it feel having such a great impact in that game? How did it feel?
So going in that game, like it was a little bit different because I've never really been that weight going into the game because like during the season I'm around 230. And
Right.
with me wrestling at the moment, coming right out of wrestling practice, coming from a match and everything, going into that week, I was around 210, maybe 200 at the most.
Right.
So being a defensive lineman at that weight, it's hard to try to keep the edge and all that. But especially with my strength being lower than it was during the season. But I have to say that I just played me and I had a whole lot of fun during that game. Cause like if you was like paying attention to the sidelines, I'm jumping around acting a fool, like being loud, being like very verbal, and just being me, and just hopping around, and it was extremely fun. That's the most I can say about that game.
Well, that's good, Sam. I could tell you were having a lot of fun. You were causing chaos out there, and it was entertaining to watch. Um, I'm about to ask you some stuff, more personal stuff, if you know. Back to mental health and keeping yourself sane. What's some things that you do in your daily life or your ritual or routines you do to keep yourself, together and healthy mentally?
I would have to say, when it comes to me, routine and consistency is a big thing when it comes to mental health because when you're doing the same thing each day, it helps to keep you on track. Helps you keep you out of trouble, and that's the main thing about it. Because like I'm a big gamer, right? And
Right.
that's one thing I do. That's one thing I do to like escape or calm down every now and then. If if something's going on, and everybody has their different escapes when it comes to your mental health. And one big thing for me is not only gaming, but my religion and everything. Because as Aaron know, we're both part of FCA, and just praying, going to church, reading the Bible, that helps me a lot because you're able to talk and you're able to speak your mind, speak your presence, and get everything out and explore yourself.
Right. Right. Um, and that is awesome. We are part of FCA, and I would say that is the thing that helped make my high school athletic career incredible. Um, Coach Estes and FCA, good times, right? Good times, and yeah, it is important. Your mental health is very important. I would say, like I said before, athletics. The hardest part about being an athlete, being a football player, isn't the physique. Anybody can have the physique, right? Anybody can have size. The hardest parts is, work ethic, consistency, being motivated. All that comes like right here, the mind, being mentally tough. I believe that's the hardest part about being an athlete. So you really, really, really got to be in the right mindset to, have faith, and just be stable. It may seem hard, but really you just got to find a place to focus and something to ease your nerves and get you right.
Most
So
definitely.
Samuel. I know we're class of 2022, and so last year at Gas City, I'm a first shout out you having a 3.7 GPA first semester your senior year. He's good at school. He's good at school, y'all. That's good. And two, this is the last semester of your high school career. It's bittersweet. Signing days coming up, and graduation and all that stuff. So what are you looking forward to finish out your senior year? Any events, watching the spring game?
Let's see. I don't really know. I haven't really put too much thought into it. I was going into it. Like my point of view is, okay, I got to finish strong because soon as school end, I'm leaving right back out for football because I leave out June for Austin P. And so I just got to keep my mindset, get my weight back and everything like that, and just keep on grind, stay on the grind because this next 4 years is going to be the most important part of my life moving forward because this is where it really starts, most definitely. And but I do look forward to the spring game, as you said, seeing the players' growth of
Yeah,
our past team and everything, seeing their growth and see how they're developing this offseason.
yeah. I really will applaud the youngins. I'm excited to see them perform. Uh, Me acting like I'm 30 years older than them, man. But no, I'm excited to see them. They did get reclassified. They're 6A school now, but they do have a pretty tough schedule, even though region play. Not necessarily like it's a very competitive region, but I'm glad we get to play our rival Hewitt Trussville and get to play I think Hartselle, Calera, Hillcrest, Tuscaloosa. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see that schedule and see them perform. And yeah, I'm excited for the spring game. So now that we kind of got to that question, uh, the future of Samuel Horton. What are we going to see in the future, Sam? What are we going to see?
All I can tell y'all is wait and see because the future's bright and you don't know what it holds.
All right, Sam. I like that answer. That's a safe answer. That's a safe answer. Um, but no, I'm gonna put in the atmosphere right now. I could claim. Wait, hold on. Let me slow down because I could see him being all A Sun because Austin Peay's moving to the A Sun with
Can't wait.
Jacksonville State, Kennesaw, North Alabama, schools like that. Really competitive conference. So
Um,
are you looking forward to that?
I'm looking forward to that a lot. But one thing I do have to say is Alabama fans beware because there's a behind whooping coming the end of next year. So yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see you perform on the collegiate level, Sam. I really am. So just before we finish up, Sam, can you give these young guys some advice to stay positive, stay motivated, and finishing high school, recruiting? Because there's some guys who are like, man, I don't got no offers. Keep grinding. That's patience. Keep grinding. So, do you got any advice for them guys and girls? Trying to get
When it comes when it comes to like recruiting, I had to say that recruiting hasn't started for y'all just yet. Y'all putting your names out there. But I would say a lot of colleges won't start handing out their main offers until around February, around that time.
they
And
started offering some to
'cause-
the class, but the bulk of
yeah,
the class, yeah.
yeah, the bulk of the class is going to start getting their offers around February and then through the summer months. And this
Right.
is where you put your work in now in the off season, so that way when you just do start to go to camps, if you haven't already been to camps, that you can put your name on the map when you start going to camps. You start tweeting other coaches and just keep on grinding and keep on putting the work in because first thing is your work ethic and your mindset.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. So you hear that, guys. Stay motivated, stay positive. Um, and yeah. Oh yeah, Sam, one more thing. Oh, Gas and City. Apparently they have like a new catchphrase or battle cry. You heard
They
it, Sam?
do? No, I haven't.
Fear the sword. Fear the sword. Fear
Very
the sword.
swore.
I kind of like it. I kind of like it. Fear the
Who
sword.
made that?
I don't know. I just been seeing it on Twitter on our athletic pages and stuff. So fear the
Okay.
sword, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But nah, it was great being able to interview a good friend, teammate, Samuel Horton. He was a very. I'm grateful you came to answer some questions for me on my new thing, iron sharpens iron.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to participate.
Yeah, advocating mental health and just giving some advice and inspiration to young guys and girls and just people. Um, but yeah, you guys know, iron sharpens iron. Everything's gonna be fine, and you know, when we work together, anything can happen. So, thank you,
Most
Sam.
definitely.
Thank you guys for listening, and I'll catch you guys on the next time. Thank you.